tellers will ascertain and deliver the result to the President of the Senate.
The undersigned, Deb Fisher and Amy Klobuchar, tellers on the part of the Senate, and Brian Steele and Joseph Morelle, tellers on the part of the House of Representatives, report the following as the result of the ascertainment and counting of the electoral vote for President and Vice President of the United States for the term beginning on the 20th day of January, 2025.
I think it's so funny that she just forgot her name. J-Lo tried to endorse Kamala Harris, forgot her name. Look at this.
I am so excited to be here in Nevada.
I believe she's really excited to be here.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, y'all saw that, right? Jennifer Lopez just completely forgot Kamala Harris's name. I mean, she had to look at her in the face and be like, "Who are you again?" Oh yeah, that's right. So it makes you wonder, like, how much did they pay J-Lo to promote or to endorse Kamala Harris? It's like, I feel like when these celebrities try it and endorse these Democrats, it's almost like a default promotion for Republicans, because nobody believes when these celebrities endorse these Democratic candidates. You know, they have no personal interest except for collecting the check that they were promised. And, you know, some of these celebrities get millions of dollars. Look at Oprah. Look at Meg Thee Stallion. Look at Cardi B, who completely, she never even knew her lines. You remember that at the DNC, at the Kamala Harris rally where Cardi B was supposed to be having this amazing speech from the heart that she apparently couldn't read because the teleprompter wasn't ready. There was a problem with the unbelievable, guys. And then, of course, you know, you got Taylor Swift. A lot of people Taylor Swift, who just made it to Forbes billionaire list, right? Endorses Kamala Harris. I mean, it's like, does anyone really value these celebrity opinions and endorsements?
The state of Vermont seems to be regular in form and authentic. And it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 3 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 3 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the Commonwealth of Virginia seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 13 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 13 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Washington received 12 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of West Virginia seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 4 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 4 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the great state of Wisconsin seems to be regular in form and authentic. And it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 10 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 10 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Wyoming seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 3 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 3 votes for vice president.
Members of Congress, the certificates having been read, the teller.
I thought she was going to fumble on that one.
The President of the United States, as delivered to the President of the Senate, is as follows. The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris.
Drop an amen in the comments if you guys are happy that Trump won the election in 2024. I wonder how Kamala Harris feels right now, having to admit this defeat right now. It's pretty tough.
Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
Did you guys see Mike Johnson? I feel like he really wanted to just bust out laughing, but he had to stay professional. He had to stay professional.
The whole number of electors appointed to vote for Vice President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, a majority is 270. The votes for Vice President of the United States are as follows. J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio has received 312 votes.
Mike Johnson didn't stand up for the others. The entire Congress stood.
Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota has received 226 votes.
Let's just remain seated on this one, Tim Walz.
This announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected, President and Vice President of the United States, each for a term beginning on the 20th day of January 2025, and shall be entered together with the list of the votes on the journals of the House and the Senate. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, Tampon Tim. Is Kamala Harris gritting her teeth?
Of the joint Senate having been concluded pursuant to Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 2, the 119th Congress, the chair declares this joint session dissolved. Thank you.
Wow. Kamala, you're fired. Can I get an amen, ladies and gentlemen? Well, this is it, folks. This is it. We are at a point where there's no turning back. I don't think that they can take it from Donald Trump at this point. I know that the DNC, many folks on the far left wanted to try to leverage the 14th Amendment and say that, hey, we can prevent Donald Trump from being elected. We can block Trump from becoming president of the United States, the 47th president of the United States. But it looks like this is not going to happen. We have confirmation. U.S. Congress has officially certified the Electoral College vote for 2024, the presidential election. Kamala Harris, as much as she didn't want to have to do this, she had to do it. She had to swallow the pill. It was a big pill, but I'm pretty sure she can manage swallowing it. She had a lot of experience as a district attorney. She had experience swallowing tough pills as the Attorney General of California. And, of course, there was a previous relationship with old Willie Brown. But this will be another difficult thing for Kamala Harris to swallow, unfortunately for her. But it looks like she's got plans to run again for president of the United States in 2028, or at least, that's what we're hearing. And if all else fails, Kamala Harris will attempt to become governor of the state of California. I really feel for the residents of California if that were to ever happen. I mean, it's bad enough with Governor Gavin Newsom at the helm right now, right? But yeah, we've got Mike Johnson, House Speaker Mike Johnson. And I don't think that this would have happened if it were not for the behind the scenes, closed door conversation that took place just moments after the Hakeem Jeffries Mike Johnson vote, where Nancy Mace essentially stepped in and saved the day. She had a very crucial phone call with what we believe to be Donald Trump and a few other, let's just call them big wigs. And some people who voted against Mike Johnson, believed to be voting for Hakeem Jeffries, just before they had closed the voting, they had rejected their own votes. They had reneged their own votes. They pulled them back and said, hey, let me change this vote. Let me vote for Mike Johnson. So I'm pretty sure Donald Trump stepped in and had some very convincing words. You gotta remember, Trump, art of the deal Trump, guys. It's a creative guy. He's a creative guy. He's got a lot of leverage. And I think that he probably stepped in and made some rather convincing arguments for why they needed to change their vote and vote for Mike Johnson. Now, I understand a lot of people are not trusting of Mike Johnson. I mean, we talked about this before. Mike Johnson, some people say he's not strong enough. Some people say, Mike Johnson is too much for the Democrats. Mike Johnson helps out the DNC too much. But I think Mike Johnson realizes that, or at least he realized previously that Mike Johnson was in a position where he couldn't just kind of like bulldoze people. I mean, look at what happened with Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy got ousted. So it's like, it's almost like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But I think this certification here at the U.S. Congress, this officially certifies the Electoral College vote for 2024. And look at J.D. Vance just laughing it up. I don't see Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, standing around socializing, and I didn't even see Tampon Tim here. I'm not saying that he wasn't here, but I didn't even see Tampon Tim here. But it's, there's a big difference between the winners and the losers. And clearly Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were the losers here. They gaslit the American people for far too long. It didn't work. They lied repeatedly. They tried to convince us that, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were beating Trump and Vance in the polls. They had pollsters lie for them, trying to convince the American people that, hey, that our votes were futile, that we might as well not even try because, they have the election in the bag. They leveraged the mainstream media. They leveraged mainstream media to try to convince the average American person that you might as well just not vote if you're planning on voting for Trump or Vance, because Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are going to win. And we found out that to be a lie, among many other lies that were told to the American people that were later found to be true. I mean, it's just terrible. It's terrible how they have leveraged their money and their power and their influence to try to lie. They didn't try to lie. They lied to the American people. But I think through the full faith of the American people, the gaslighting was almost so evident that the American people had no choice but to just say, screw you guys. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you're saying Trump's going to lose this election. We're going to vote for the man anyway. MAGA 2024, regardless. And you remember how they try to gaslight us on the size of the crowds? Even Kamala Harris during the debates, ABC debates, the gaslighting, talking about how all Donald Trump cares about is the size of the crowds. Meanwhile, it was actually the Democratic Party, the DNC, Kamala Harris, Tampon Tim, always trying to brag and rave about the size of their parties or the size of their crowds that would show up at their rallies. I mean, it was just all one big, huge gaslight fest. And then you had Karine Jean-Pierre, the head honcho and lead gaslighter, covering up for Joe Biden's mental shortcomings. I mean, it was just, this felt, I don't know if it was just me, this felt like a very long year. 2024 felt like it was longer than any other year to me. You had the assassination attempts on Donald Trump's life. I mean,
Senate Concurrent
did
Resolution
not end.
2, 119th Congress. The electoral vote will be spread at large upon the journal.
House Speaker Mike Johnson running the show up there. Wow. Yeah. The American people had enough. It's time to make America great again. Trump's got a plan to help the average American become wealthier. He wants to put a cap. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Donald Trump wants to help to eliminate personal debt for the working class America. So what does this mean? Well, we don't know for sure because these are proposals, but Donald Trump has proposed to put a cap on credit card interest rates. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of perspective, credit card interest rates right now, depending upon which credit card you have, what your credit rating is, can be as high as 25, 30, 35, 40% interest rates on credit cards, okay? The average credit card interest rate right now here in America is about 21%. Now, this is significantly higher than what it was, say, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, okay? So the average American is getting decimated. The average credit card balance is so much higher than it used to be. Average American right now is carrying an $8,000 credit card balance. The average new car payment here in America right now is $750 a month. $750 a month for a car payment? That just sounds like madness. And don't even get me into some of the more extreme car payments that some people have. Some people have $2,500 car payments, $3,500 car payments. You guys probably have seen some of these Mercedes-Benz G-Wagons driving around. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. I like Mercedes-Benz, some of their cars, most of the AMG models. But the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagons that you see riding around, a lot of people driving around with $3,500 car payments.
For what purpose does the gentlelady from Michigan seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, by the direction of the House Republican Conference, I send to the desk a privileged resolution and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Resolution 13, resolved that the following...
I ask unanimous consent to dispense with the reading.
Without objection, the resolution is agreed to and the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, by direction of the Democratic Caucus, I offer a privileged resolution and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Resolution 14, resolved that the
Mr.
following...
Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be considered as read.
Without objection, the resolution is agreed to and the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Michigan seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that when the House adjourns today, It stands adjourned until 11 a.m. tomorrow, January 7th.
For what purpose does the gentlelady from Michigan seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do now adjourn.
The question is on the motion to adjourn. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. According to the House, the stands adjourned until 11 a.m. on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025.
Well, there you have it, guys. But going back to these excessive car payments, the debt, personal debt, I think Donald Trump is really probably the one president that we've seen really just try to help out the American people to the greatest extent. I think that this could be one of those opportunities where, I mean, first of all, think about it like this. You know, if Donald Trump can get these credit card interest rates lowered, that would lower credit card interest rate, that would lower minimum payments due on credit cards, because your minimum payment is basically a calculation made between the outstanding balance owed on your credit card and your interest rate. So if Donald Trump can get these interest rates lowered to a cap of 10%, which he has previously mentioned, this would dramatically lower the minimum payments that would be owed on interest on credit card debt. And it would also dramatically increase the amount of money. Even if you continue to make your old minimum payment, it would dramatically increase the amount of your payment that goes to paying down the principal balance. And of course, if you sacrifice just a little bit more and you add it on top of that minimum payment, you could get out of debt and completely eliminate your debt and become debt free much faster than previously expected. So this in combination to a number of other policies that Trump wants to push forward could dramatically improve the financial situation of millions of Americans across country. So I'm pretty excited about that. But anyway, guys, if you guys haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video, subscribe to the channel, join us over in our Liberty Pursuit Network down below. There's a link for you guys. I really appreciate y'all, and we'll see you guys